Hello, everyone. This is episode 28 of Here Comes the Pitch, a podcast about pitching story ideas. Today's guest, SCUM of Tempe, will be pitching a sci-fi comedy called Cycling Through Time to me and my guest, Birdie Birdashaw. I would compare this story to the movies Back to the Future and High Fidelity. I'm your host, Derk Harron, and without further ado, here comes the pitch. I used to have a Street Fighter 2 cabinet.
Oh, wow.
Like, I gave it to my brother. It's actually at my brother's now. But I had, like, when I was...
Which version?
It's just the original Street Fighter 2. So, you like, yeah, it's not the tournament edition where you can both be Ryu or whatever. Or you actually, you know, can be the bosses and stuff. But it was, it's just the original Street Fighter 2. I actually found that at, like, an antique store.
Oh, wow.
And, some of the buttons were kind of jammed. Yeah. And I had noticed that, like, they kept lowering the price. Like, the old lady that had it, you know, she just kept crossing out the original price and then, like, writing in a new price and a new price. And so she got it all the way down to, like $400 or something like that. And so I went straight over to it. And then, like, I was checking it out. And then she was like, I'll give it to you for $350 right now. And I was like, well, the buttons are stuck. And I'm like, I don't really know if these, like I'm going to have to put in a lot of work to get all the stuff working properly. And she's like, all right, $250. And I was like, okay. and so yeah, that was like I got like an original Street Fighter 2 for $250 because this old lady just wanted it out of her antique store, and I was just like, it was one of those moments where I was just like, oh my god, you know, like that I guess if I had a bucket list, like one of those things that I got to cross out was I had a video game cabinet. Yeah, you know, that was always like
And that's a great one, too, of all the cabinet games. Like, I don't know how many years of time I spent on playing Street Fighter 2 to master it. Like,
yeah, and another thing, too, is that, like, I had a buddy of mine who, like, just came by and he cleaned it up for me. Like, we opened it up, and then, like, we noticed that the reason why the buttons were stuck was because someone had spilled soda. On the stuff, and so we just went in and we just cleaned everything, and it worked just fine. Yeah. So it was I really lucked out, and it still works. It's in my brother's garage now. So,
dude, I went to an arcade auction, Priest in Elliott area, you know, and it was the owner of the arcade, and he was putting it on of the arcade store, and so I go to it and I saw this game I had to get. It had the chain steering wheel.
Oh, yeah.
Well, what I thought was I was going to buy or rent a saw. I was going to cut it so I could put it on a hinge and open the bottom, gut it, and then put a mini fridge there and a TV on top.
Nice.
So that was my goal, right? And I got it for, it didn't work, right? So I got it for $15. Guy bid 5, or I bid 5, guy bid 10, I bid 15. I got $15, right? So I'm like, all right, you know, and I take it upstairs, and I got like 6 games out of the whole thing. I spent $80. And a buddy of mine, my old roommate who passed away already, he told me, hey, plug in that game. I'm like, it doesn't work, dude. It didn't work with our fucking thing. Plugged in and it worked. Maybe they were out of plugs or something, right? So my buddy says, sell it to me. And I'm like, oh, dude, I don't really want to sell it. I mean, I bought it because
for $15, you know.
I bought it because I want to, you know. And the sides had been, you know, someone had took out the sides and it was all nasty on the side, you know.
Yeah.
And he goes, how much did I sell it for? Okay, I had that and a wrestling game. Yeah. I bought the wrestling game because my sister was into wrestling, and my nephew's into games, but she's into the watching and he's into new games. Yeah, and it was like the old Nintendo, the clothesline, all that. So my buddy gave me $100 for 2 games, and I paid $80 for all of them. Yeah. So and then 2 I stripped down for parts and the whole thing and all that, you know.
Yeah.
And
I didn't know you were flipping arcade cabinets on the side there.
If I can make money on it, I'm going to do it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I got a Shinobi.
Wow.
And I can't remember what I paid for it, $5 or something, but it didn't work. And I stripped it down, but I kept I still have in storage the thing, and on the side it's like a brick wall, and it says like punk, like they gang write it on the wall, whatever, you know.
Yeah.
I still have that, and then I this broke. My buddy's trying to take it off. It broke, but I got one that says it was on Mike Tyson's Punch Out, and I'd never seen that in a video game. As soon as we got out of our truck, whole thing fell down. Right.
Oh, jeez.
So I kept the thing. It says something games. I had it on my wall. And but yeah, I mean, if I could buy it, and you know, I once bought a pair of women's shoes on eBay, drunk. I like to just bid on stuff and throw the smallest bid out there, right?
Yeah.
And every now and then I'm like, dude, I got a pair of leather Converse with a street subway design.
Yeah.
I got them for $20 with free shipping, and they were leather. I didn't know that. They were like one of a kind, but I'm not going to put them on the shelf and worship them. But anyway, so I bought this woman's pair of shoes. And they came so small, they were like for like Chinese midget or something. You know, 85 cents free shipping.
Yeah.
So I had a female roommate move out, and she left a small shoebox. So I threw them in, and I had bought a pair of pink Converse with hot pink and dark pink hearts. And then I was going to wear them to a cancer walk. Well, I didn't realize it was the same day as a New Jersey convention. So... You know, I took those to Buffalo Exchange.
Buffalo Exchange, yeah.
And I took that and I took a bunch of clothes. They don't want none of the clothes, right? You know, because it doesn't matter, but they don't want none of the clothes. But she had the pink shoes out, and the manager walks up. He was like, "What's wrong with those?" She said, "You want those?" He goes, "Yeah, we'll take them." I got like $4.20 for it. I paid 85 cents, so I made. But like $3.60 profit.
Yeah, there you go.
But the point is, that's when I needed the money because I was out of work.
500%. That's what you made profit.
Yeah, I mean,
that's a markup. That's a winner.
But yeah, I mean, if I see something, I know I can get more for it. You know, like a lot of comic books, I don't sell. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I'm starting to get a collection of doubles or stuff I bought for 50 cents because 50-cent day over there. You know?
Yeah.
That I wanted to read. And then now I don't really want them.
Right. So
you know?
You're going to flip them.
Yeah.
That's cool, man. So we should probably get back on task.
Yeah, let's do that.
So, well, we're here because you're going to pitch us an idea for a story. And,
all right.
And you know, like I said, like... As you see, like, sometimes they don't have to be very well thought out. Like, that first one that I pitched, I was like, I had this dream, like, a couple of weeks ago. Yeah. Here you go. Let's figure it out.
Well, this wasn't a dream, but it's more like...
It's my fantasy.
Why... Well, we got our shirts off, so why not? So, no, it's like... All right, I love Back to the Future.
Okay, yeah.
Like Ghostbusters, Back to the Future, and Star Wars, probably like my whole big ones, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Michael J. Fox goes back in time and he gets the almanac, right?
Right.
And then he gets caught with it, and then...
Well, he goes in the future to get the almanac.
Yeah.
That's in the back.
Yeah. And then when he comes back, the whole time thing's changed because Biff went back.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking, dude, you got a time machine and an empty seat. Okay, he brought that hoverboard back, right?
Yeah.
And you saw what happened with that. You know, when he took it back in time, the doc... They use it to catch up to the car and all that. Yeah. But then the doc used it for, I guess, parts to make the train and all that, right? You know what I mean? But what I'm thinking is, why don't you bring back anything? So my whole thing was, if you can go back to 1955 and bring back 10 pounds of stuff, what would it be?
So your idea for a movie is time travel.
Time travel.
Okay.
But it's more so I'm stealing the Back to the Future idea. So let's not say...
so Back to the Future universe, but through different people?
Right. Well...
More like a what if.
You know, I'd want it to be like kind of original idea. Like, and it's not like Back to the Future was the first time travel movie.
Yeah,
there's Time Machine, which that's a movie and a book.
If you could go back in time...
Okay.
And bring back like 10 pounds only... What would it be?
Like
And why?
like
And why?
10 pounds of anything.
Anything, yeah.
Yeah. Well, what would you bring back?
Baseball cards and comics.
Okay.
I mean, think about it. They're brand new. You know, I mean...
Well, baseball cards aren't worth as much as they used to be. Isn't that true?
Okay, they are if you have the old ones.
If you have the old ones.
The new ones you could make on...
Yeah.
I can show you counterfeit on Michael Jordan rookie cards all day long.
Yeah.
Because nowadays, they're basically made on a printer nowadays anyway.
Right.
So, but the old ones from the 60s, no one really knows this because I don't really talk about it so much. I talk about comics and all that. I've been building a set of baseball cards from 1961 since 2011. But I haven't bought one in the last year because when I go to comic shops, I could talk about comics to comic people.
Yeah.
There's no baseball card shops anymore.
It would be interesting, because I know that it's a, it's just a premise, but like, what if there was like a character or somebody that's like a collector, and so like he was able to go back into the past, like what would he collect?
Yeah.
And he can only bring back so much at a time, and what would it be? And
I mean, it could be 10 pounds of gold.
See, I was going to say 10 pounds worth of like IBM stock.
Interesting.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
And then when you're back in your future, it's like, look, I just think of Blast of the Past. 'Cause that's what happened to Brendan Fraser. That stock worth just billions. Like, yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, I watch Back to the Future all the time, all three of them, and he goes back and he tried to smuggle that book back and got caught. Well, dude, why don't you just go and pick up some baseball cards or comics or coins, gold? Gold, he could have bought gold and came back and, And I've always, I mean, I love the movie.
I think he was trying not to sleep with his mother, was the main premise. He has to make sure his mom and dad fuck, so he still lives. I'm sure baseball cards are the last thing on his mind.
Yeah, that's true. He does think of the almanac, which that would make you so much money.
Yeah.
And but it also screws up his whole present day once he gets back home.
Yeah.
Once Biff takes it, yeah.
Yeah. So maybe with your story is like he has to take things that will not destroy his present day, future, or his future rather. So he's constantly taking little things, Maybe there's like more behind it. Maybe like he's collecting. It's like a way of collecting memories. Maybe he has like some kind of like I don't know, like an Alzheimer's type of thing where he has to collect things just so that like he can kind of remember things.
Memento.
So I was going to almost say like a hoarder.
Yeah.
He just wants things that mean stuff to him.
Yeah, like maybe it's just like things that like he's trying to rebuild his memories like by like all this nostalgia stuff. So he keeps going back into the past to get like this mint stuff so that he can like maybe like recreate his room like when he was a kid.
So have you ever seen Memento?
I haven't, but another story. So
yeah, I love it. The guy he tattoos himself to remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, great movie. But I mean, I just wonder if you can go back in time and come back. Why just come back with a memory? Like,
is your character trying to make money? Is that like his goal?
No, he's already back there because, like in the Back to the Future thing, he went back in time either for investigation or mistake. But if you're gonna come back to the future, why not bring something? And what would it be? And why? Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm thinking baseball cards and comics because they're just made, they're mint, they're perfect.
Mm-hmm. And you know what they're going to be worth in the future.
So, but like your idea of what to bring back is because of financial gain. It's not necessarily.
Yeah, and I'm a collector, so.
Right. So.
Well, that's why I want your opinions, because if you're coming back to time anyway, why have an empty seat next to you?
Right.
I mean, the hoverboard, it worked out because of Doc.
Yeah.
Made the train. Now, they never said he made the train from the parts, but think about it.
Yeah.
He's a scientist. He has this future hoverboard.
He invented a time machine. I'm sure he'll figure out especially also they converted the DeLorean, so I'm sure he'll figure out how to convert a train.
Yeah, well,
you got to figure he did it back in the 1880s, 1885. He didn't have that much parts.
Yeah.
So the hoverboard, I'm sure he rated that hoverboard for parts.
Yeah.
I mean, you know.
Well, it's that's an interesting concept. Like of you can. Here you have this time machine. This guy has access to a time machine. He could change the past and then change the future. Of course, like by changing things in the past changes the future. But the only thing that he really wants are just items, and that's kind of an idea, like an interesting idea.
Since he's going back in time, would you change anything?
But was that the purpose? Like, what is that what the character wants to do, or are you just asking us? Like,
I'm asking you guys. Like,
why would I change anything?
Say you had access to a time machine,
right?
And you were going to go back for anything, right? You were already going back.
Yeah.
The old "Would you kill Adolf Hitler" thing.
I'd rape him.
You know?
Sorry.
Jeez, that kind of came.
There's a Louis C.K. I think that's like Louis C.K. said. He's like, I want to kill Hitler. I'd rape him because then he wouldn't want to do anything after that.
Oh my goodness!
Wow.
Just torment him for the rest of his life.
Or would you want to go to what event would you go to? All right, forget bringing things back.
Okay.
We'll put that in the back burner for a minute. If you can go back in time and be either a baseball game or a politician event, what would you go?
Yeah. What would I want to experience in the past?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. I don't know, man. Like, I kind of want to, since, like, I'm in a Misfits cover band, like, I would have loved to have seen the Misfits in New Jersey, those first couple shows.
Yeah.
And, because even though we probably play the music better than they did back in the day,
Yeah.
it's still...
But you could totally Marty McFly, Chuck Berry that.
Yeah, that too. Like, I don't know.
Glenn broke his hand? I'll play.
Yeah, I'll take his spot. Like,
your cousin?
Yeah, he lost his voice. I'll sing the songs. I know them all. Yeah, you could totally do Chuck Berry. Yeah, I'd probably want to see some of those Misfit shows. Like, I think that, like, I think that band was really the band that really got me into music. Like when I met Dale, he really introduced me to music.
I actually know Dale.
Yeah, so
Yeah, good friend of mine. I like the guy a lot.
So he's one of my best friends, and so he really introduced me to music. And
Tell him I said I.
Yeah, definitely. And so I would go back to like maybe 1979 when like the Misfits, like, they started in 77, so they were like getting better by then.
So I guess we're talking concert wise.
Yeah,
I'm trying to think, man. I might have just totally go old school and either probably see the Beatles. I'm not really a big Beatle fan.
Yeah.
Although I have this, anyway, I got something you won't believe if I told you I had it. I would like to go back and see the Beatles.
that would be interesting. Like, yeah, I'd love to see the Beatles too.
I mean,
or
Elvis.
That would be an interesting concept where you go back in time to like save like one of the great rock stars that died too early, and then like bring it back to the future, and then be like, I saved you. Now you can create all this great music, and like, would that character still, or that rock star still live out like his life, like Fast and Furious, where he would burn out again.
So I'm trying to think because I'm thinking like, what old concert would I like to see? Like, I would love to have seen like maybe like an early James Brown.
Ooh, that would be a great show.
Or like even like there's that video they show where it's like James Brown performing. He pulls Prince on stage.
Yes,
and Prince starts shredding on guitar, and then Michael Jackson on stage dancing. Is like, I would love to have been there just to see like that electrifying moment.
Yeah.
You know what would be a baddest moment to see? Michael Jackson's first moonwalk.
I was thinking about that too. That's on my list.
Yeah, I used to have a little DVD and he was up to singing Billie Jean, I think, and when he did that, everybody went crazy.
Yeah. Well, no one knew because it was the 25th annual Motown celebration.
Right.
He's doing Billie Jean, and he just did it, and everyone was like, "Wait, he's walking forward, but he's moving backward. How in the hell?"
Yeah.
And then does it like 2 or 3 more times. It's like everyone was mystified. I remember being a kid, like everybody's trying to figure out how to do it, and we all sucked at it because we're white. It's
like, I still at work sometimes I'm like, you know what? I think I'm just going to moonwalk out here. And then I go to do it, I'm really just dragging my feet backwards.
I go, do.
No, that's an interesting concept. Like what kind of a twist can you bring to like the time machine story? Whether it's collecting something.
Robert Johnson. I would love to have seen Robert Johnson play.
Robert Johnson,
the original King of the Delta Blues, man who sold his soul to Satan to play guitar.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, a lot of people wasn't the history behind that character. Like, he created blues, which also kind of created rock.
He didn't create the blues, but he was a young blues musician who wasn't very good.
Yeah.
He would play. It's like in the Delta, this is Mississippi Delta, so he's playing. All the other guys are outplaying him. He just sucks. He disappears for like 6 months, and then he just comes back, and he becomes like the greatest guitar player.
Yeah.
And he recorded 29 songs, and that's it. And then he was murdered by someone's husband because of the wife he fucked. Oh, no. It was a woman he was seeing, and she found out he was sleeping around, and she murdered him. It's like she poisoned him.
So it's deep. Yeah.
I'm even going.
But that stuff's the basic. But like that, any like serious guitar player, like blues, rock and roll, they all go like, "Yeah, Robert Johnson." Like Eric Clapton's like Robert Johnson. B.B. King, Robert Johnson. It's like that was the guy who made the guitar playing the way it was.
Interesting. Maybe that would be like an interesting way to like bring in time travel. Is like, what if you sold your soul to the devil? Like, and you were like, well, what do you want to sell it for? And he's like, well, I just want to go back into the past. Like,
sell it for your time machine so you can go back.
But it seems like you're only going to have a limited amount of time.
What? You're in a time machine.
Yeah, that's true. You can live. You can collect or witness stuff or change things.
Now, what I would like to see is someone go back and stop John Wilkes Booth from killing Lincoln. I wonder how that would have played out.
Well, it was interesting because, like, one of the things that after they abolished slavery was that they were given a lot of land. Like, that was the one thing that...
40 acres and a mule.
Yeah, and then slowly... They pretty much took that all away from them.
But you also have like the Reconstruction where the South is having to rebuild. Yeah. The North has their carpetbaggers, and they're kind of the South is just getting the brunt end of it, and that's where you get a lot of hatred. You also the rise of the Klan.
Right. So some of that stuff would have still happened, of course, but like at least maybe the laws wouldn't have been changed so quickly, like with the acres of land. Like, because as soon as they gave that to them, they took it away. And and so that was very unfortunate. And like I watched like this, I was watching this documentary on Netflix and how, why people, especially minorities, are poor, and it's because like their families were never able to own land or own houses, and so you're just house poor, and so. That's why your ancestors never went anywhere, and that's why the descendants have never went anywhere. And it's like, it's kind of sad.
And wealthy landowners, the ones who own all the wealth, try to make sure no one else gets a shot at it. It's like, I got mine, you guys fight over it yourselves. And
right. It's that's unfortunate. So, but yeah, it's just like, how do you catch up? You know, because there's just been so many years have gone by, and
I think of the Dave Chappelle bit where it's like he goes back in time and like shoots slave masters. That's what you do. Just kill all the rich white people.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think it's an interesting concept. Time travel is a tricky one because, like, that's something that, like, I hate it when they that's how they end up, like, correcting things. Like, I think that's what they're going to have to do with the new Avengers movie, is, like all this horrible stuff. I don't know if you've seen Infinity War yet, but like, all this horrible stuff happens, and so it's like, how do they make it right? And it's like, well, the only way you could make it right is if you went back into the past and then changed everything. And it's just like, and I just feel like it's such
and
a
it's going to happen too. Like,
yeah,
that's what made me mad about that movie. So, the last 10 minutes could be retconned in like the first 20 of the movie,
right? And it's kind of like it was such a shocker how it ended, and it's just like, well, there's no way that they would continue it the way how it ended. So, like, they got to change everything, and so that's why I always
they do like a 12 Monkeys, where they send one person back in the past and try to find a way to stop it.
That would be interesting, yeah, because like then, well, but that's Terry Gilliam for you. Yeah. Like, everything's strange.
That's when you have your time travel. You got to pick out, like, what time travel rules do we have? Do we go Time Cop? Do we go Terminator?
Yeah. Or do we go Bruce Willis?
That reminds me, I love reading those comics that you've been drawing by John McClane.
Oh yeah, by Die Hard.
Dude, those are hilarious. Have you read them?
No.
Oh.
One, he goes, how do these hipsters find us? And can't get away, and he goes, "That's it. I'm taking my shirt off." You said something, and then the female bunny, "Are you doing that John McClane act again?" Yeah, those are hilarious.
They went to a pizza place called Pie Hard.
Pie Hard.
And it's hard to tell in the background, but the posters, I got a picture of the Die Hard poster, but Bruce Willis is holding a slice.
Oh my gosh.
And then I took the picture of Hans's brother when he's killed, and he's got the sweatshirt that says, "Now I got a machine gun." Yeah. And I have him holding a stack of pizzas. So it's like sitting there.
Well, that's a pretty good pun right there, Pie Hard. I love that. That's great.
Yeah.
Well, cool, man. Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like we need to develop that a little bit more. But I like the idea of a collector.
Well, because I'm a collector.
Right.
But I mean, I'm just saying, he was coming back to the future anyway. Why haven't I seen?
Or what if the person goes back in time to take things to collect, but there's someone who keeps going to that future to take the things back?
Ooh, so someone's stealing that stuff and then putting it back.
So it's like a race, like
a thief.
Yeah.
Or
someone's like trying to get this. It's like, you stole my Joe DiMaggio baseball card. He finds a way to go back in the future to take it back, or goes to the future to take it back because he thinks it's rightfully his, and other people.
Wow.
Or like, you have the chance to go back in time to take something, but that person has the chance to go back to your time and take something from you.
So it's like they're like time thieves.
Like a time trade.
Time trades. Interesting.
But see, I would like to bring something to the past, because I'll bring something that's never been invented or made. Or,
yeah. They go back. They go to your future, steal your iPhone.
Like a cure. You can bring smallpox before, or something like that. You know what I mean?
Right.
But when it comes to the future, it's already been invented because you're in the future.
Right.
And I'm just saying, as a collector, like, these comics just got made, or the baseball cards, or autograph photo, whatever, you know. And I think it would be. I mean, you're already going back.
Right.
Why have an NPC next to you? I'm just saying, like, what would you bring back?
Mm-hmm.
instead of come back empty-handed.
Or like you go back.
Mr. Nostalgia.
Yeah.
That could be the title for your story.
Or someone finds out you go back in time to steal a comic book, and they're like, well, what's the deal with this comic book? So they decide to keep all those comic books, and they never increase in value.
Like somebody warns them never to sell them?
Yeah, like they think because someone from the future took it, it must be important.
Right.
And so now they're like, Moms, you can't throw away these comics. There's something about them in the future that they need them. So,
so someone alerts that there's like this like collector guy that's going around stealing stuff, and so he has to warn
the rare value. It's like, no.
Interesting.
So moms throw every comic book away except for that issue. Dude, when I was a kid, we found a bunch of 12-cent Spider-Mans, and every now and then I'll read like a copy, a reprint. I'm like, I had this as a kid.
Yeah.
So I had a whole bunch. I know I had number 6 because that's the first appearance of the lizard man, whatever.
Yeah, the lizard.
And so I know I had that as far as back as number 6.
Wow.
And I had a lot from the 30 like number 30, 40s, just number 50s and all that. But my mom got tired of them. And Star Wars that just came out. My sister was in 6th grade. She's way older than me. And so her class was getting 3-packs free. Star Wars 1, 2, and 3.
Uh-huh.
And not everybody wanted it. So she walked around and came back with at least 10 of each one, right? Wow. So I like 10 number 1s, 2s, and 3s. And I had them in the corner, nice and neat in my bedroom. There was, when I read them, they went back and whatever, And my mom threw them all away. And I was in charge of taking the trash out. So I went to the back of our house. I looked in the trash cans. They weren't there. They weren't at our neighbors. So I think she drove down the block, threw them in the alley or something.
Yeah.
So moms are kind of known for throwing away comics, except for
that's what gave them their value, though, is the fact that moms threw them all away. That's why there's so few.
Yeah.
That's why, Spawn number 1 isn't worth $10,000. It's worth, $200 or whatever.
Yeah. Huh. So someone goes around and tells all moms to
keep that one issue.
Don't throw your kids' comic books away because it could pay for your grandchildren's way into college.
And then I come back to Future and I'm like, dude, I got Fantastic Four number 1. And I go, everybody has that,
Yeah.
Like, I got 12 issues on the wall. And I'm like, wow. Oh, wow. Okay, yeah. Wow.
So it ends up like ruining the present day.
It ruins a while because
comics won't go up in value anymore. It's like, I'm still paying 12 cents for Batman 600. What the hell?
And then everybody has like all their nostalgic stuff like still like mint condition and everything because they thought that they would make money off of it.
There's no comic shops because there's no need. Everybody has them already. So basically, I ruined comic collecting for everybody.
And that's the irony, is you're the comic collector who ruins comic collecting for everybody.
Yeah.
That would be... That's like a great Twilight Zone ending.
Yeah. Dude, I got like 100 Fantastic Four number 1s, so do I.
So, yeah.
And I'm like, I'm all
my house is built out of Fantastic Four number 1s.
I get on eBay and I'm like, well, goddamn, what happened? It's like 14 cents free shipping.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's only a 10-cent issue. It's what the...
Your nemesis got back at you.
Yeah, some guys like, it's a 10-cent cover price. I'll put it 15 cents.
Yeah. It's like, this used to be worth tens of thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
Now it's worth 5 extra cents.
Yeah. It's worth 15 cents instead of 10.
With inflation.
There you go. Well, cool, man. I liked your story, man. Like
I've always thought about it like, you're coming back in time and you got an NBC.
Yeah. But there's got to be someone that puts a stop to it.
Yeah, thanks, Birdie. See if I go back in time with you. Now you know why there's an NBC next to me.
Birdie got
cool.
thrown out.
Well, thanks again for being on the show, guys.
Yeah,
I
it
know
was
that
fun.
this was quite a bit of time. We had to fit in 4 episodes, but I wanted to at least pitch like a story to one of you, and then so that's why I got to do 2 pitches.
And just in case my mom's listening, could you tell that I actually am sober?
Okay.
I'm
No life for you.
sober all day.
We'll get it out on the out on the internets, and then
Scum is sober for.
and then your voice will be heard all round.
Wow.
I hope.
Can't wait.
Well, thanks again for being here, and thanks for listening.
Thank you.
It's been fun. The scum has left the building.
Yes.